Good afternoon, everyone. And I am so excited to be here today. We have a great 1 hour session here for you this afternoon with Mr. John Felder. I'm so excited to have him here. I had an opportunity to meet Mr. John Felder last month at the VIP Grow program in Washington, D.C., and learned about all of the amazing things that he was doing and just knew, oh my goodness, I absolutely had to have an opportunity to kind of sit down and speak with him. So just for all of you all that don't know, again, my name is Tanya Jones, CEO and founder of Interactive Advocacy. And this month we are talking about Black History Month. This year's theme is Black Resilience. And I am so excited to have Mr. Felder on, especially as we talk about Black resilience, because of all of the amazing things that he's doing. But before I go into that, what I would like to do at this time is to just introduce Mr. Felder and have him share a little bit about who he is and what he does.
Okay. All right. That's a great segue, Tanya. And thank you and good morning to everyone. First, thank you for the opportunity to talk to you about Black history and hopefully this conversation we're about to have will inspire someone. You know, if you can inspire one, that's great. Absolutely. But to give you a little back history about John Felder, John Felder was born in a little town called Hamlet, North Carolina. I know most of you have never heard of that town, but if I said two people names, you would know quickly. That being Mike Quick of the Philadelphia Eagles, and also John Coltrane. Those are two people that grew up in the same neighborhood as I. Hamlet is a small town in North Carolina, but we have people that have done great things. I'm a Vietnam veteran and proud to be a veteran. And I also was in the Vietnam conflict. I am a disabled veteran certified because of that conflict. A graduate of the University of Maryland, the year 2000, along with my daughter, Devin, who also graduated and wanted me to become a Y2K grad along with her.
Oh, wow.
So we both are Y2K grads, and obviously I was a little older than my daughter, but it was an achievement nonetheless. Absolutely. I worked for Chrysler Corporation for 25 years as a marketing and sales manager in the Mid-Atlantic region and retired in 2004. Once I retired, I realized that I didn't really want to retire. I wanted to do something else. I wasn't ready for a rocking chair.
Right.
So I kept busy and I found a passion for exporting vehicles to the Caribbean. And so that's what I do. And that gives you a little overview of what I do, who I am, and a little bit of my background. Okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you so much for that. And I appreciate that. And I thank you so much for your service. I really do appreciate that as well. So thank you. Again, I am so honored to be here with you this afternoon. I am, or have had the opportunity to take a look at this press release. And I want to just really just read it. I really do, because this is just huge. And then we're going to kind of just go into what our conversation is going to be about today. So Mr. Felder is also the CEO and founder of Premier Automotive Export. As you shared, he does import export to the Caribbeans. And this is huge because of the fact that he is absolutely making history, right? So, and what it says on his press release is longtime automotive industry executive John Felder makes history after the Biden administration greenlights a deal to export electric vehicles to Cuba. Now, this is huge for so many different reasons. This is huge because the truth of the matter is that since 1962, February of 1962, when President Kennedy put sanctions or put the embargo trade with the US and Cuba, you have been the first organization to be able to do trading with Cuba since then. Is that correct?
That is correct.
That is, oh my goodness, that is just phenomenal. So the first question that I want to ask, and curious minds wants to know, how did you make this happen? Because you are making history right now. So how did this happen?
Well, first, you have to have vision. And then you have to have a mission and an objective. And my objective was simple. How do you help the people of Cuba so that they are not left behind in this global transition towards electric vehicles?
Mm-hmm.
The Cuban people should be able to breathe clean air just like you and I. So my mission has always been about the people of Cuba who have suffered under the embargo. And I try to stay away from the politics, obviously. And that theme seemed to have resonated with President Obama, the ex-President Obama, ex-President Trump, and now President Biden. So I'm honored, obviously, that I got across the finish line with President Biden, and I'm enormously grateful that his administration made this historic day possible.
Well, congratulations again, because that is just a huge feat to be the first person to be able to do this after so many years of these sanctions being there. So tell me, what does this mean for the people of Cuba having this opportunity and having these vehicles? First, let's talk about that a little bit. Let me go back a little bit. So, what type of actual vehicles are you shipping to Cuba?
It will be any electric vehicle manufactured by the United States.
Oh wow, wow! So
Okay.
so this is electric vehicles. So what? So what?
Electric vehicles.
Wow,
Yes.
that is amazing. That
Yes.
is
So you're
amazing.
talking about a Tesla,
Wow,
a Chevrolet Bolt, Hummer EV.
wow.
There's so many available right now. Obviously, the Nissan Leaf, just to name a few.
So what does this mean for the Cuban people to now be able to have not just current vehicles, but electric vehicles? And will there be some participation by you or your organization as far as infrastructure to be able to build the electrical stations for them to be able to power their vehicles?
Great point. And because to sell electric vehicles, you must have an infrastructure first. And obviously, as you're probably aware, the grid system in Cuba is very fragile. And obviously, if Premier Automotive Export sells the 500 electric vehicles, that is my quota, that will be a great demand on the grid. So how do you overcome that? You overcome that by introducing bidirectional charge stations, which can turn every electric vehicle that we sell in Cuba to power generators. So that's our plan. Every vehicle sold to a Cuban national will also receive a bidirectional charger that they can install in their home or office.
Wow.
So that bidirectional charger, in the event of a blackout, they can convert, uh, the energy to their home or their office, so they will never have blackouts.
Wow. Wow, that is amazing. So, what does this mean for the Cuban people based on your conversation with the government? Or I don't if you've had an opportunity to talk to the people, what do you think that this means for them?
I'll tell you what, just close your eyes for a minute and think about being in the dark 24/7, and what that would mean as far as you trying to stay cool. You have no AC, you have no means of cooking, or you're in the dark. So this transformation will limit the amount of blackouts for the owners of these electric vehicles. So I think that's a great move. I think it's going to help many people in Cuba, and also there's 124 embassies in Havana, Cuba, and I have been in touch with many of the ambassadors in Cuba, and they now are looking forward to owning an electric vehicle with this technology, because when the lights go out in Cuba, it goes out on them also.
Right. So, again, I'm just blown away with the fact that you have been able to accomplish such a great feat. Again, not just because this embargo has been in place since 1962, but you're making it happen. Right now on the heels of Black History Month, we're celebrating Black resistance. And one of the things I would like to ask is, how much of a change have you seen based on opportunities as a man of color, as a Black man, from what you're able to do today in comparison to maybe had this been in 1962? Like, have you tried to do something of this feat in 1962? Have you seen a change, and what has that change looked like to you?
Oh, it's been enormous. I mean, we always talk about um, how bad it is, but let's think about how good it is. And I try to always look forward and not backwards. Um, that's one of my missions in life, is because I know where we came from. We came from slavery, and look at where we are today. And I think that in itself is a blessing. And we can do whatever we choose to do in this country if we just do one thing. You work for it. It will not be given to you. It's going to take work.
Absolutely.
So I'll just leave it with that, and I hope that that little point means something to everybody, you know, because
Yeah,
that's what it really takes. It takes work, and don't forget education too. You got to have that too. I'm not saying that everybody has to go to college, because obviously college is not for everyone,
right.
but there's something out there that everyone can do to earn a living in this country.
Wow. Wow. Thank you again so much. So one of the questions that I have for you is again, it takes hard work, dedication. You mentioned vision. And even if school is not for everyone, I really think that it's about also perseverance, just being able to continue to move forward. So because this is Black resistance, What are some of the things that you think maybe that you may have had to overcome in order for you to get to where you are right now and doing what you're doing? You could just, I mean, I'm sure that might be a lot, right? But that might be a
No, I get that question all the time. Obviously, when you're dealing with any government, you got the big B word. And everybody know what the B word is: bureaucracy. You first have to understand that, okay? And if you can understand that and never, never do this, always try to stay calm, stay focused, because you have no control over what the government is going to do or say. So you sit back, relax. And in my case, I sat back and relaxed for 7 years. And look where I am today.
wow.
Perseverance.
Perseverance. So this was a 7-year journey for
Yes,
you.
yes. And there came many challenges along the way, obviously. When you're a pioneer, obviously, you're going to have those challenges. And that's what makes it all the better when you overcome them one at a time.
Wow. Now, I know you shared with us that you've been doing you've been doing transport with the Caribbean, but why the Caribbean? What made you decide that that was the area that you wanted to work with? Do you have family ties to the Caribbean, or was it based on a vacation? What was the first time that you said, you know what, I want to do something where I'm able to help the people of the Caribbean?
Okay, so you got another great point there. Okay, being a executive in the car business for over 25 years and now over 40 years, I've always known that there is one virgin car market in the world left. That virgin car market is Cuba. Cuba is the only country in the world or island that has not had the opportunity to own new vehicles from America.
Mm.
Any of the major vehicles that we know around the world. So that was my focus. And I started off with the embassies in Cuba because I realized that by focusing on the embassies first would be easier because they have what is called a diplomatic pouch.
Mm.
And the embassies can purchase anything they want from the United States, including automobiles.
Mm.
So in 2015, I delivered the first electric car to Cuba
Wow.
to the guy in the embassy, and that made history at that time in 2015. And so you just keep, like I said, you've got to have a strategy. You have to have a plan, and you got to work your plan, and it may not always work in the time that you expected, but if you keep focused and not get sidelined, you can make things happen.
Absolutely, absolutely. Matt, that is just amazing, sir. And from what I gather, just from the short amount of time that I've met you and known you, it doesn't seem like there's going to be any slowing down anytime soon. Like you're going to be, all the powers that be say the same. It doesn't seem like you're going to be slowing down anytime soon.
Well, Tanya, you must have been talking to my wife. I celebrate my birthday, and I'm not. I'll tell you, I'm celebrating my birthday. I was born on the 29th of February, but the 28th is right around the corner. So I'll be celebrating the 28th and the 1st.
Wow.
And I'll be celebrating my 79th birthday.
Wow. Wow. That is a
So
blessing.
that
Wow.
is truly a blessing, and I give thanks every day because obviously uh, this has been an amazing journey. It really has. And
Yeah.
I'm blessed. I'm truly blessed. And I give thanks every day because I realize that I have been blessed. And being also a cancer survivor, is a double blessing. Okay.
Absolutely, absolutely. I mean, what an amazing journey. What an absolute amazing journey to embark on such a great accomplishment, such a historic accomplishment. And I think that this is just beyond words what you have been able to accomplish, especially because you have so many people that are looking at barriers or that see barriers and they say, you know what, I don't know what it's going to take. I'm trying to do everything I can, but all the powers that be is not aligning. But this is just a true testament to your level of fortitude and just vision, and wanting to see so many people be successful in what they're doing, and just like you said, have opportunities, have transportation, all of these different things. So what would you say to young people who are seeing those barriers? What would be that big takeaway that you would say to them? In light of everything that you've done.
Well, I'll tell you one of the things that I would love to see, um, and that's a great point, Tanya. We all know what's going on in our society today. We see it every day. We see what's happened when the family unit breaks down, and it is broken down in our uh, families across America. Um, we all know it, but we don't talk about it. Life has changed. I can remember, I never ate dinner by myself. My mom would say dinner is ready, and we all sat down and ate together. When we went to church, we all went to church together. My mom, my dad, my sister, my brother. That's how we grew up. And I had two mothers. I had another mother that lived across the street. And if she would ever see me doing something wrong, she would kick my butt too. Those little things um, that now I see, family values are so very important. And it is my hope that we as Black men can realize that we are the only ones that can fix what's broken. And that's going to take lifestyle changes. And it takes two to tango. We know that. So it's going to take some changes on the Black females too. But that's what I would love to see, some change towards that and getting back to some kind of family unit. Because right now it's not good in our neighborhoods. I live close to Baltimore, Maryland, and every day there's a shooting, someone getting killed, and it's usually Black man shooting another Black man. And I know we're getting on a different tangent, but this is something that bothers me personally, and I have to see it, okay? Because we don't talk about it. We see it, but we don't talk about it. The police, the government cannot fix what is broken. The only one that can fix this is us. Just imagine if every man black men in America decided that they were going to just take one black kid. One. What a difference that would make. Because all these little kids, black kids, especially boys, they're angry. They're angry because they don't have a father figure in their life. They see everybody else with a father, but where's my dad? So I say that and share that because I had the opportunity of mentoring one of these kids. And today he is my shining star. He's a great family man. He's doing well. And I always use that as an example. And I said that if I could do that, and you know something too, Tanya, it didn't cost me anything but time. That's all. It cost me time. And my daughters, who pushed me towards this, said, Daddy, you know, one thing that you can never do is disappoint this young man. Wow. Because that would be double pain. So I always kept that focused because so whatever it was, even getting up 5 o'clock in the morning when he called me and said he was on the way to college, he and his girlfriend, and the car broke down. I'm in Columbia, Maryland. He's all the way in Virginia, 2 hours away. And who do he call? He calls me. And what do? I got up out of my bed and drove and took him on to college. Wasn't the happiest man, but you know what? I didn't disappoint him, and he remembers that today. You know, that I never disappointed him, and I never will.
That is just so special.
I'll share that true story with you. Okay.
Yes, yes, yes. No, thank you so much for sharing that. I appreciate that because you're right. There are so many young people, so many Black men that are angry and that are frustrated. I'm a mother of 3 sons myself, and you know, sometimes I hear some of their concerns when they become or when they have their own families and if they have sons. So I definitely want to say that I do understand, and I thank you for taking time out of your schedule to just mentor one person, because you're right. Sometimes it only takes just to be able to work with one person. And if you can impact one person, you know, how amazing that impact would be, that positive impact will be. You don't have any idea what shift can now take place in that person's life. You know, some of these changes are not something that just affects them today, but you're talking about lifetime changes. So I think that is just a beautiful thing. And I do hope that we continue to see more individuals such as yourself that are looking at individuals, Black men specifically, and are helping, even if it's just mentorship, even if it's just a little bit of your time, because you're right, that will completely start to change and create these shifts and those changes when it comes to people of color as a whole. So thank you so much for sharing that. And your family, right? You mentioned your daughters. How proud of you they must be, you know, to just kind of see all of the things that you're doing. How involved is your family in the work that you're doing right now?
Well, Tanya, I have daughters, obviously, and they obviously parents now themselves, all but one. And their interest is more being a mom than a business person. Okay. And so I let them be what they want to be. That was their choice They like to see what their papa's doing. Um, I have their full support, and I try and they support me, obviously.
Yeah.
You know, they support their daddy.
And that's great. And sometimes we just need our cheerleaders, right? Just folks that are just
Oh
rooting
yeah,
us on.
no
Yeah,
doubt, no doubt.
absolutely, because it gives us that encouragement. Sometimes when we're just ready to say, you know what, today's been a rough day, but you have that family support. That is huge because, like you said, this has been a 7-year journey. So
Yes.
I can receive that. That's awesome. That's awesome. So let me ask you, what is the expected time frame that you are expecting to see these vehicles start to make movement over to Cuba? I heard you say that there was like a 500, I guess 500 vehicle obligation that you have. So how soon will that start to take place for you?
April the 10th will be the first delivery of a U.S. manufactured vehicle to Cuba.
Wow.
And you're invited, Tanya, if you like to go.
I'm gonna say that to the end. At the end, I was gonna say, is there any way that I can sneak in your suitcase and
And
get
I mean
over to
that,
Cuba?
yes, if you would like to join me and my family and close friends in the news media, obviously there's going to be a documentary on this, and
Oh,
I would be honored. You have the invitation.
oh my
You
goodness.
and your guests.
Oh, thank you so much. I appreciate that. And you heard it first here. Mr. Felder said that IA was invited. This is recorded. No, thank you so much. I do humbly, respectfully, I do appreciate that. Thank you so much
Okay.
because again, this is groundbreaking. You are making history today. Black History Month, Black Resilience, and you are the perfect person to be on this platform today. And this is just beautiful. And I just want to say I salute you, sir, because this is a huge historic accomplishment for you, for your family, for your team. And I'm just so honored to be talking to you this afternoon. So also
Thank you.
you're
Thank you.
going to, oh, no problem, sir. So this will take place in April. So you're going there ahead of schedule in March to kind of just get things rolling, get the
Been
paperwork.
there, I've been there already 3 times. So logistics is obviously uh, you're dealing with Cuba. So therefore, it's a lot of things that you have to put in place to make sure that everything goes right. Okay.
Mhm.
So that's been a task, but obviously, I think we have everything now completed and we're ready to go.
Wow. Wow. That is amazing, sir. Again, just beautiful accomplishment, historic, groundbreaking accomplishment. Mr. John Felder, this is huge. Again, Premier Automotive Support Ltd. Outstanding. Thank you so much for being a part of this interactive advocacy conversation this afternoon. Again, we're talking about Black resistance, and John Felder, you are it. You are Black resistance. So thank you so much. I appreciate you being here with us. So we're gonna close out right now, everyone. Again, thank you so much for joining us. This was a great conversation. And we look forward to seeing you all next time. And until then, continue to be unstoppable.